Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to the Patriot Dad channel. Today, we're going to do a reaction to the interview of Elon Musk at CPAC 2025. I've only seen one still shot from this interview, and it was Elon wielding a chainsaw. So I look forward to doing this reaction. I look forward to this speech and seeing what he has to say. I'm assuming about DOGE and the progress they've made in the government, but we won't know until we actually watch the interview. So let's get it pulled up. Let's see here, we got the Forbes feed. Make sure you check out the original video and support their channel as well. Let's get started.
Man, that is a big crowd. And they are not here for me. How you guys doing? Nice vibe this year, right? After the best month we've ever had. Nice to see you all. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you. I'm not going to kill any more time. Let's bring out Elon Musk.
Another one of his awkward jumps, guys. You know, the media is going to talk about that endlessly because they have nothing else to talk about.
Second. Hey guys. We've got one more surprise in case this wasn't enough. I'm gonna let Elon do it. Who else is here?
Well, President Milei has a gift for me.
Javier Milei from Argentina. You guys know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we bring him out?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew this came from this speech, guys. I didn't realize this was the start of the speech. Oh my gosh. Also, watch my videos about Javier Milei and his speeches to the World Economic Forum, guys. He crushed it there 2 years in a row, telling globalists that they all suck. So check those videos out when you get a chance. Amazing work, guys. I really enjoyed watching him do his thing down in Argentina. What do you guys think?
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw.
This isn't a round of Diablo, bro. Come on.
That's perfect. All right.
I love it. Mr. President, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you. I love it. We love it. We love it.
All right.
Viva la libertad. Carajo, my friends.
They told me to put this right.
Where should we put it?
They want it right here.
All right, great.
A little stage prop.
All of you guys too.
Oh, man.
Thanks, guys.
Have a seat.
That is quite the introduction to a speech, folks. I don't know if I've seen a better one.
So,
That was something.
I am become meme. Yeah, pretty much. I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening, you know?
You're like, I think you're bigger.
I mean, Doge started out as a meme. Think about it.
Yeah.
And now it's real. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
But it's cool.
Let me ask you this. A year ago, if someone had told you you'd be at CPAC and working with the president to absolutely shred the government, the swamp, whatever you want to call it, would you have ever believed that?
No.
No?
That is an honest answer. It's quite the answer.
Me neither.
But it's cool. This is awesome. And I just want to say,
I don't know about you guys. I'm getting some really strong, like semi Austin Powers vibes right now. I don't know about you guys. I think it's hilarious.
thanks for your support. I mean, you guys are,
Hey, keep making cuts, man. Afuera is what it's all about.
So, I mean, we're trying to get good things done, but also have a good time doing it, and and have like a sense of humor, So
yeah, guys, if you're not following the DOGE and Elon on X, you should. Plenty of humor there.
I mean, the sort of the left wanted to make comedy illegal, Like you can't make fun of anything. So then it's like comedy sucks. It's like nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like legalize comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legalized comedy. And we've shifted the entire culture in just the last few months. The whole culture of the country has shifted dramatically just because of that election.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Freedom of speech, having fun again. It seems like we should have a good time,
It's a great time. Everybody in this place is so excited, and when you talk to conservatives, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And everybody feels this great sense of relief because we were going to hell for about 4 years. It really felt bad.
Yeah.
Especially toward the end, it felt really bad.
Yeah. Felt awful. Angry, white, female, urban liberal. Awful.
Yeah. I thought we were sort of heading for a point of no return, really.
Yeah.
Until that's why it was so essential that President Trump win the election, and that there be a Republican majority in the House and Senate, which, thanks to you, that has been accomplished.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we can do better, though. We can get a few more on the board.
I want to ask you, one of the biggest questions.
Really, like right now, rookie numbers. We need to pump those numbers up. We need more of a majority, folks.
I have for you is you've been, politically, you weren't really on one side or the other for a long time. You're a businessman. A lot of people, they stay away from it. Now you're on a side, and you've chosen a side. You're sitting here in a MAGA hat. What's it? How did that happen? What was the moment?
It's dark Gothic MAGA.
That's a good one. What was there a specific moment? Was there a moment that it all changed?
Yeah, when I realized I was a fool. But no, I was, I guess, I'd say as politically neutral.
I'm actually able to see the chainsaw there at the bottom now. It actually says Viva la Libertad Carajo on the chainsaw. If you look at the chainsaw bar, that's awesome.
For quite a while, leaning a little Democrat.
How do you go from that to this?
Yeah, no.
How does that happen?
Well,
did they go crazy?
Yeah, they did go crazy.
Yeah, they went crazy.
No, I mean that whole cancel culture.
Yeah, they went real crazy.
And it's trying to stop freedom of speech and infringe upon people's personal freedoms.
Personal property rights, which is the foundation and the core of all freedom.
They just want state control of what you say. They want to, take away your guns. And the reason they want to take away your guns, so there's nothing you do to oppose them.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, I just like we just need to restore the fundamental elements of what made America great, which is freedom and opportunity.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of these freedoms disappearing in the West. It's not just about America. We're all watching Europe and knowing that they're about 50, 100 years ahead of us, right? Because they got an early start. And we're watching how they're devolving. And you're trying to save it from happening here.
No, I mean, in Europe, they put people in prison for memes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's insane.
And they're collapsing. I mean, this society it's a collapsing society. It feels that way.
It feels like
France was nicer 50 years ago than it is today.
Yeah.
I don't think you can question that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, really. Thanks. I love you too.
They do love.
I really just wanted to do useful things, basically build products, provide products and services that are good.
Well, he owns Tesla, SpaceX, The Boring Company, Neuralink. feel like I'm forgetting a really important one. Either way, he's definitely doing that.
And I wasn't really like that interested in being political. It just like there was at a certain point no choice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, can I ask you on the same side of that coin, what's it like from going neutral to being vilified, largely vilified by the media? Like
What? No. Really?
I mean, you turn on some of these channels, brother. I mean, they're angry at you. Does it bother you at all? Does it get to you? Yeah.
I mean, when they're chanting for my death, I suppose that's a little, you know.
Maybe.
Not good.
But then, like, the song's not even that good, and it's like you call that a death chant? That's nothing. Please.
They've been singing a lot lately.
It's not even good music.
Yeah. There's a lot of music lately. It's not good music either. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that watching what you're doing with DOGE is just people love it. I mean, I've always looked at the government and.
Yeah, guys, swing by our space on Tuesdays on X with Questionable Gardener. We are digging through some of the data, and I say he is digging through the data that is provided by the Data Republican and others. Guys, deep diving into some of these programs, NGOs and others that were taking these grants that DOGE is cutting because of their impact on U.S. Agency for International Development and others. Guys, it is disgusting what they were spending so much of our money on. Disgusting.
I've always looked at the government.
Cut all of it.
And I've seen this big machine and you just know that they waste because they don't care. There's more money coming. They don't care.
Yeah.
You're cutting all this out. Everybody in this country knows that the government is full of waste, fraud, and abuse. And you're doing the work, and the Americans love it. Watching their reaction politically to this, I can't believe how bad they are at responding to this. I don't know.
Yeah, guys, they've taken the side of like the IRS and big government and wasteful spending. It's crazy to watch the left just be so anti-Trump and anti-Elon that they are willing to defend and support these disgusting programs.
I don't know how you're going to sit there and scream and complain because they're cutting waste out of the government and try to win another election. How do you try to win on that?
Well,
I don't know.
At this point, I'm not sure how much of the left is even real.
Yeah.
You know.
How much was propped up by our money? You know.
Yeah. Like literally, you see like these sort of fake rallies where there's like hardly any people, and the media will like frame it and like get all 6 people in the frame, but there's like nobody else is there. Like just it doesn't have popular support. But then you learn that like there's hundreds of billions of dollars going to these so-called NGOs. And it's your tax dollars that are funding things that are fundamentally anti-American.
And they're propping up their narrative.
Yes.
A lot of that government money has been propping up a left that I don't think is as strong as they made it seem.
It was only strong, guys, because they are pillaging our coffers and using our money to make them seem that way. If you're not infuriated by the status of USAID and the other government grant programs, you haven't been paying attention.
In fact, a massive amount of your tax dollars is going to legacy media companies.
Yes.
Yep.
Directly from the government.
The government wants to take over media.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. That's why we have X.
Yeah, and
that's why you spent $44 billion. I mean, that's a lot of money.
I mean,
more than it was probably worth, but there was a message.
Freedom is priceless.
Priceless. Yeah. Probably one of the most important investments this country's ever seen. If you got to protect the First Amendment, it's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, "Well, that proves he's a huge idiot from he voted for whatever $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents." And
it's not worth 8 cents.
But it was essentially to buy freedom of expression.
But guys, it's not perfect. It's better than it was, that's for damn sure, but it's not perfect. And I don't think it ever will be, but guys, as long as we keep seeing progress in the right direction, I think it's very important for the world that X was purchased and taken in this direction, because I don't think we would be here today if it wasn't for that. I don't think we would be here today if not for the work of Scott Presler. There's a couple of very key moments in history that have gotten us to where we are today with Trump in office in 2025. The purchase of X is definitely one of them, or I guess the purchase of Twitter turning it into X is one of them. Scott Presler is definitely one of them. Keep up the great work, Scott. We love you. Don't listen to the idiots that hate you because of your orientation. No one really gives a shit, bro. Keep doing great work.
And yeah.
Once that's gone, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah.
Descent into tyranny is really quick after that.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's all the sort of.
I keep hearing his necklace and it sounds like one of those puppy collars. Like, I can't. I just can't.
Federal money going to media companies is what helps explain why the legacy media all says the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it like, it's like weird. Like, you can put them up where it's like, like when
They're mouthpieces.
Oh, some of the montages that I've seen of them repeating the exact same phrases is wild, guys.
For
the state.
the state.
Yes.
And that's what we've come to know.
Yeah.
It's scary.
And I like that meme where they're, because they're always saying like threat to our democracy, but if you just replace democracy with bureaucracy,
Yes.
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Big threat to the bureaucracy.
That's exactly right. Let's talk about these DOGE dividend checks that everybody's talking about this week. And I know you tweeted out that you're gonna. Does everybody want like a $5,000 check in the mail? It sounds kind of good, right? And the best part about it would be knowing where it came from. That's $5,000 that you sent them last year.
Totally. It's money that's taken away from things that are destructive to the country, and from organizations that hate you to you. That's awesome.
Does it seem? I mean, have you talked?
I mean, that's like glorious. That's like
It's the best.
the spoils of battle,
Ooh, I like how he just put that, guys. Yeah, if we're winning the culture war, should we participate and enjoy the spoils of that battle? What do you guys think? Do you think that the $5,000 checks are a good idea? Would you rather just see that money stripped from these organizations and put against the debt? I don't know. I could kind of go either way on this one. I don't know. What do you guys think? We can talk about it. Head on over to the Discord. Go over to X. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think about it? Do you like the idea?
I like that. Is there traction on that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I talked to the president, and he's supportive of that, and so it sounds like that's something we're going to do.
Yep.
So as we're finding savings, that's going to translate directly to reductions in tax. So
Yeah. I think they fired 6,000 people at the IRS today.
Yeah.
And I think Lutnick said last night that they're talking about shutting down the IRS.
Yes, making the IRS the ERS, which would be the External Revenue Service, to track the collection of tariffs and other duties and fees owed to the government by foreign entities. Guys, I am all for it. Get rid of the IRS. Make a simple flat tax. If you don't want the flat tax, that's fine. We can instead go with a national consumption tax and get rid of the income tax altogether. What do you guys think? Again, head over to the Discord. Let's talk about these things. These things are really important for our future. What are your thoughts?
And I think it's fair. I think people should realize this is, the amount of money that we send Washington, like $5 or $6 trillion a year. That is such an ungodly amount of money.
Yep.
What do they?
It
They
is
say like 1 trillion seconds is like 30 years or something like that. That's how much we send them, and they seem to never have enough. There must be a lot you can cut.
No, absolutely. People ask me, what's the most surprising thing that you've encountered when you go to DC, when you're in DC? And I said, well, the most surprising thing is the scale of the expenditures, and actually how easy it is to, when you add caring and competence where it was absent before, you can actually save billions of dollars, sometimes in an hour.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And then they scoff at it and say, oh, a few billion here or there. The way they're talking about it, you can see they don't care. It's such little money compared to how much they're used to wasting. That's what's really scary.
Exactly. But obviously, it just shows that they really lack empathy for the average taxpayer who's working hard, paying taxes, and then they say, oh, $1 million doesn't matter. I'm like, I think it matters a lot.
Yeah, they don't give a shit, guys, about the average taxpayer, as long as their mansion in McLean is paid for and cleaned by some probably criminal alien. They don't give a shit about you and me. Like, I think that's one of the things that's so fun about watching Doge do their job is just watching them cut these bureaucrats who don't give a shit about Americans. I love it. I love every bit of it.
People, you know?
Yeah,
So what are you talking about?
I'd like to have it. Let me ask you a question. I know the president fairly well, watched him survive 2 assassination attempts. Had the first one not happened, the second one would have gotten him. You know, It was very, because without those extra guys, they would have never seen that gun poking through the fence at the golf course. I saw the crew that you
Isn't it like mind-blowing that this has happened? I mean, it just, and what, by the way, why do we still know nothing about that guy in Butler? What's going on?
Or I'm really either one, guys. Either one. Why don't we know more about the people that tried to kill Trump during the election cycle? Like, it's crazy, guys. The little bit of information that we've gotten just pales in comparison to what's probably known about these people. We see the government constantly hiding information. We have all these other mass murderers that have attacked schools and other places that we know almost nothing about. Where do those investigations ever go? Why don't we discuss mental health? Why don't we discuss medications? Why don't we discuss what drove people there? Maybe their connections to 3-letter agencies. There's so many things, guys, that we need to find out about these, and they just disappear in the news cycle. The way that things are, it happens so quickly that we just forget, never go back to him. He's not wrong, guys. What happened? Why don't we know more? We should demand to know more.
Come on. But Cash is going to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glad that I did this video after Cash was confirmed, guys. Cash, hopefully, along with Pam Bondi and the rest of them, can get us some of these answers.
Confirmed just a couple hours ago, but I saw that the security detail that you had come in is enormous.
Well, it's not that enormous. Maybe it should be bigger. I don't know.
I think you could probably afford it. But I mean, how concerned are you about your safety? Dealing, I mean, you are a wanted man. Are you nervous?
So, look, I'm open to ideas for improving security, I have to tell you. I don't actually have a death wish, I think.
Are you sure?
You know, it's not that easy. Yeah. I mean, but I have I've had even people like President Bukele from El Salvador who managed to put in prison I don't know, 100,000 murderous thugs. And he was he called me, he's like, I'm worried about your security. I'm like, you're worried about my security? I'm like, what? Okay. That's
I mean, talk about guts to do that down there. I mean,
yeah, totally.
And survive.
I was like, how did you put all...
And guys, you can watch our videos that we've done on the channel about President Bukele, but they did it with almost no casualties. Absolutely wild.
All those thugs in prison without dying, because it seems like that would have been not easy, you know.
Well, the president has, one of his top attorneys is now investigating, I guess, Chuck Schumer for threats against SCOTUS, a congressman on the Democrat side. They're saying, basically saying we're going to bring a war to you, like a fight to you. I mean, the rhetoric, you guys are screwing with things that are not supposed to be messed with.
Yeah. F around and find out.
And
we're fighting the Matrix.
There's a lot of people that really don't want that to happen.
Yeah, we're fighting the Matrix big time here. But it has got to be done.
Yeah.
And
are you? It certainly does. What's going on with? Tell us about Fort Knox. There's Kentucky. It's a military base. It's a ton of gold, tons and tons and tons of gold.
Supposed to be 400 or 40 metric tons? I forget, but he'll probably say it right here. But yeah, dozens and dozens of metric tons of gold are supposed to be there. But there's been rumors and people have been speculating that gold is just gone. I would love to see a live stream tour of it. What do you think?
1,000 tons of gold or
5,000 tons of gold are there in the ground and this. I mean, it's a very secure thing.
I think we all want to see it.
I'd love to see it.
This is your gold, by the way. It's the public's gold.
Do you think it's not there?
I don't know.
But I want to find out.
But I think
you just want to see it.
Yeah, we want to go see it and just make sure somebody did a spray paint some lead or something,
Yeah.
Is this real gold? Fight at the bar,
Didn't dent.
But I think honestly, part of this also is just let's have some fun and like I said, all this gold at Fort Knox, it's the public's gold. It's your.
And that's the crazy thing, guys. Nobody really thinks about it like that. It's the government's. No, it's the people's gold. We should know that it's there.
Gold.
So like, I think you have like a right to see it.
You want to take a tour?
You know, yeah. I think we should have do a tour. And then the president last night was like, "That's not." I think he's in favor of it. That would be cool. And then it should be like a live tour. Like you can see what's going on. Open the door. Like, what's behind it.
Well, and there's
I think I'd watch that.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I mean, what does 5,000 tons of gold look
totally.
like?
What does
How
it
big
look
is
like?
that? Is it the size of this?
It's got to be pretty
stage?
big,
I mean,
you know.
It's got to be a lot of
Maybe
gold.
there's some other stuff in there. Like just walk around. Like I don't know. Maybe they got some other stuff in there.
Are you thinking about auditing the Federal Reserve
Like what, aliens? Like what are you talking about, bro?
as well, which is obviously
Yeah, sure.
regulates
While
our
we're at it.
economy?
Why not?
I imagine you think the waste has got to be everywhere.
Yeah, no, waste
Yes.
is pretty much everywhere. People ask, like, how can you find waste in D.C.? I'm like, look,
You open your eyes.
it's like being in a room, and there's target. The wall, the roofs, and the floor are all targets. So it's like you're gonna close your eyes and go shoot in any direction, because you can't miss, you know. So it's pretty wild. Like you just push on things a little bit, and you save billions of dollars. Like just a little bit, you know. It's wild.
It's scary, isn't it? It's really
That's why I say, it really is underrated. If you add caring and competence, how much things improve.
yeah.
And
Ooh, caring and what? Competence. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. 100% on board. Maybe that's why they push DEI so much, because then they can have incompetent people in these positions and have an excuse for the crap to continue. But it's good to see competence and caring in there. And like he said, if you can save billions of dollars an hour just by looking and pushing a little bit, how much do you think Doge is going to end up saving in the long run? We can see that we've already saved, I don't know, let's look. According to the national debt clock, $125 billion has been saved by Doge so far. I think that's a pretty good start. What do you guys think?
we just find so many totally crazy things, which, we're sharing with the public. We post everything we learn.
Yeah, guys, go to X, follow all of the Doge accounts. They do constant updates on what they're finding and doing. It's amazing, guys. Definitely follow them. It's great.
So you can see it.
What do you?
It's like, isn't it like but totally wild? Like we just did like a check the database on Social Security. Like says how many alive Americans eligible for Social Security are there? And according to the database, it's over 400 million. And we're like, wait a second.
Hang on a second. 400 million?
And how many are getting?
How old are they again?
Yeah.
And then like we found like one person in there is like 360 years
360.
old. I'm like, what, do they know Ben
More than 100
Franklin or
years before the
something?
revolution.
I mean, America didn't exist before that time. Like so.
Yeah, we were colonies.
Maybe it's just me, but I think it's a red flag. I don't know.
But are there indications that there were checks going to those people or any of those people?
Well, yeah.
That's, I guess, the question, right? I get the Social Security Administration is dumb, but are they paying these people? Are they that dumb? I don't know.
A bunch of money is going out from the Social Security Administration, and in fact, from all entitlements programs.
$72 billion in waste in like 7 years. That's $10 billion a year.
Well, I think the
Fraudulent payments.
The rough estimate from the Government Accountability Office is over $500 billion of fraud a year.
I'm sorry. Let's back that up again. Say that again.
The Government Accountability Office is over $500 billion of fraud a year.
$500 billion a year? You don't hate the old government enough, folks.
500 billion.
And how long at a time?
Per year.
Per year? On Social Security?
No. On all
On all government.
on all entitlements.
All entitlements.
All
Okay,
entitlements. Yeah.
So Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the other entitlement programs, $500 billion a year.
Yeah.
It sort of actually makes sense when you look at the thing from a top level and say, like, okay, there's $7 trillion of spending by the government. What
That's a lot of spending.
percentage do you think is fraudulent? Okay, exactly. Like a conservative estimate of the $7 trillion would be 10%. Conservative.
Probably a little higher than that, yeah.
Exactly.
Feels like a quarter out of every dollar, right?
But if the fraud's only 10% of $7 trillion, you've got $700 billion of fraud.
Yeah.
That is an insane number, folks.
Otherwise, it's like really easy to take advantage of the federal government. It's very easy. So,
Very easy. Look at COVID.
yes.
Everybody got rich during COVID. I mean, look at all these
Well, everybody except, you and me, probably.
scammers. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It looks like, in terms of the COVID payments, there was something like $200 billion of COVID payment fraud taken by fraudsters out of the country.
Out of the country, yeah.
Hold on. Let's back that up again.
In terms of the COVID payments, there was something like $200 billion of COVID payment fraud taken by fraudsters out of the country.
Out of the country.
$200 billion of fraud that went out of the United States.
Yeah.
That's like I think, listen, if there's going to be fraud, it should at least be domestic.
Yeah.
I mean, fair, but no.
So, but they managed to get $200 billion out of the country. I'm like, what? Didn't we notice that?
Yes, I think they did. Honestly, I think the people that did it, did it with intention and all knowledge of doing it. What do you guys think? Do you think they knew that this stuff was happening when it was happening?
Yeah, so let's do immigration here for a second. There's this move now that Trump's latest thing is that he's going to cut funding, any kind of money that ends up in the hands of illegal immigrants. So if you're funding these sanctuary cities and states, that's how they thrive, right? They're paying for these hotels.
Yeah, look at California, guys. They spent almost $10 billion a year providing health care for illegals. Just that. And now they're going to complain and moan that they need 50 or whatever billion dollars to help out with the fire damage. How about you stop providing a bunch of services to criminal aliens, idiots? How about we say no federal money for California until Newsom is gone, until the criminal aliens stop getting any of it? Because if we give them that money now, a good percentage of that money is not going to help out with the fires. It's going to go to criminal aliens.
That's all federal money. If you got a hotel in your city, in New York, you got all these hotels full of migrants, that's not state money. That's the feds are covering that. He's going to cut all that. It's really hard to deport 15 million people. And it seems like the move now is, let's see if we, especially at the rate that we're going,
It's not hard if they self-deport if you stop giving them money.
it seems like the move now is, let's make it so that they leave on their own. If there's no longer a dole system for them, if they can't get their hands on hotel rooms and money, they're going to go back, especially if there's no work.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really important for people to understand that the Biden administration sent any possible money that they could if there was money they could send to facilitate and amplify illegal immigration, they sent it. Okay, they took money from FEMA meant for helping Americans in distress and sent that money to luxury hotels for illegal immigrants in New York. That is an outrage.
That is a level of hatred for our country that is almost unparalleled, guys. The fact that they raided the coffers intentionally and repeatedly and deeply to benefit criminal aliens while Americans suffered, and then claimed that they had no money left to help the Americans that were suffering is just unacceptable.
They actually did that. And not only that, even after the president signed an executive order saying it has to stop, the FEMA, the sort of whatever deep state bureaucrats still pressed send on $80 million last week to go to the Roosevelt Hotel in New York and other places last week. And now they're mad that it got stopped, and they're like trying to sue to have it be restored.
Yeah, no. How about no?
It's like the gumption is
You think they're creating a new voter class? Do you think that was the goal when they opened up the borders for 4 years?
Yep.
Create a new voter class, get them citizenship?
And you know what? Even if they're not citizens and they're not directly voting, they are impacting the census and they're getting additional representation and they are getting additional delegates, which is amplifying their voice in our federal system using criminal aliens. It is unacceptable. It is un-American. It needs to be reversed. It needs to be it needs to never happen again. That whole ploy by the Democratic Party and the progressives is disgusting and anti-American, and people need to go to jail. But I don't think they will. Do you guys think they're going to go to jail? I think a lot of people need to go to jail and prison over the things that were done to this country by progressives over the last few decades. Do you have any hope that they will? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's discuss it. Again, head on over to the Discord. Come on over to X. Let's have these conversations. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think.
Get them in.
Yeah,
green cards, vote.
A lot of these things, like, you don't actually have to assume some grand conspiracy. You just need to look at basic incentives.
Benefits.
So if the incentives, fundamentally, if the probability that an illegal is going to vote Democrat at some point, whether it's cheating, but eventually they can become citizens. But if the probability is like 80, 90%, you can just look at California, which is supermajority Dem.
Is it really, though? Like, is it really? If they actually had to provide accountability in their elections, paper ballots, single-day voting, in-person voting, proof of registration, proof of citizenship, do you think it's actually a supermajority? I question that.
And then the incentive is to maximize the number of illegals in the country. That is why the Biden administration was pushing to get in as many illegals as possible and spend every dollar possible to get as many, because every one of them is a customer. Every one of them is a voter.
Yep.
And so the whole thing was a giant voter importation scam.
Pretty obvious.
Very obvious.
Yeah.
And
yet the mainstream media that was paid for by our own money to tell us and gaslight us otherwise kept telling you and me that we were wrong, we were racist, we were something, for trying to call it out, for pointing out the very, very obvious. We got gaslit for decades. Nope, that's not what they're doing. No, they can't vote. No, they can't this and that. Oh, you're a racist for thinking it. Like, screw the mainstream media for ever saying that to any of us, for pointing out the obvious. This is the reason why X is where people go to get news now. Because the mainstream media that was paid for by USAID, that was paid for by our government through grants and other financial mechanisms, has lied to us for so long that they have lost all credibility, folks. All credibility is gone. F you guys. The American people are what matters. Our voice is what matters. Definitely head on over to X, share your opinions, make an account, show your support, guys, because it's one of the last places we have left. The other one, go to Rumble, go to YouTube, go to these platforms and let your voice be heard.
Moreover, then they actually created the CVP1 voter app thing, where they were, which is like where they would literally fly people in. It's not like at the point at which people are being flown in at your expense.
Sending planes,
like building
to
a
pick people
wall
up,
doesn't
fly
matter.
them over the border.
Yeah, they're literally flying them in.
No other country in the world would do something like this. Nobody is this stupid.
Yeah, and then we found that it was like a $100 million contract given to some guy in London, actually, oddly enough, for the CVP1 app. So they're flying illegals into the swing states.
Yeah.
And if you've got like a margin of victory of maybe 20,000 people, and you fly 200,000 illegals into that state, it's not going to be a swing state for long.
Change the numbers eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe in 4 or 8 years, you're
Exactly.
talking about
It's
perpetual
just a matter
power.
of time.
It's a long game.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And guys, progressives have been playing the long game since early 1900, late 1800s. They've been playing that long game for a long time.
Yeah.
So it might take like a year for an asylum seeker or something to get a green card, and then 5 years for the citizenship. It's an investment that is guaranteed to pay off.
Yeah.
Just a question of when.
They all remember who brought them in and who left them here.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And who paid them when they got here.
I want to go back. I want to talk about
This is
Biden.
a big deal. Like I think a lot of people don't quite appreciate that this was an actual, real scam at scale to tilt the scales of democracy in America.
It's treasonous.
Treason.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's a big word, folks.
One more Biden question. I remember when they would do the electric car stuff, they would always try to box you out, even though you have the only electric car anybody wants. You said, I think this week, that you think that Biden left these astronauts up in space because he didn't want to give you an opportunity to save them, make NASA look bad, make the private sector look better, make you look good. You believe that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
no, that sounds about right.
Of course.
I kind of agree. Why would he want to let you help them come down when you're supporting the president?
I mean, the Biden administration was attacking me next level.
Yeah.
I mean, the Department of Justice, or injustice under the Biden administration, was.
Love it.
I mean, they were suing SpaceX. They're suing SpaceX for not hiring asylum seekers, and we're like, but it's actually illegal for us to hire asylum seekers because rocket technology is covered under ITAR rules, which means it's an advanced weapons technology.
Yeah.
And so we can only hire permanent residents or green or citizens.
Right.
Like, so we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. And we sort of like, so.
They literally got sued for not hiring people they weren't allowed to hire because of ITAR restrictions. That's crazy.
How can they sue us for not hiring asylum seekers?
Because you have wrongthink, Elon, duh.
When it's actually illegal for us to do so. But nonetheless, there was a big Department of Justice or injustice case about this against SpaceX. So obviously it was an antagonistic situation. And those astronauts were supposed to be up there for 8 days, and now they're up there for 8 months. Does that make any sense?
No, they literally could have launched a Dragon capsule within weeks. Weeks, probably. At the outset, they probably could have had them rescued within weeks.
And we obviously could have brought them back sooner, but they didn't want anyone who supported President Trump to look good, basically.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
A lot of them are saying right now that the reason that you want to get into Social Security, that you want to get into all of these different, into Treasury and things like that, is that you're looking for personal information and you're trying to make more money.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody as rich as you that cared less about money in my life. Every time I hear a story about you, you're sleeping on a couch of some other guy in a city that you could buy the entire thing.
Yeah,
I don't think you care about money, do you?
No, actually, no,
Guys, money is freedom. And there is a certain level of money where it doesn't really buy you any more freedom. And he is well past that. Like, we're talking like $70 to $100 million. At that point, there really isn't much benefit unless you want some really extravagant like yacht or plane or island. Hopefully that list comes out soon. But yeah, guys, there's a certain amount of money that really doesn't buy you additional freedom. And it's freedom from not having to deal with people that you don't want to deal with. That's the big freedom that money buys you. You don't have to go to a job you don't like. You don't have to talk to people you don't like. You can just surround yourself with people that you really enjoy spending time with in places that you enjoy being. That's what money really buys you, guys. And he has more than enough. So he's kind of right. It's not that he doesn't care about money at all. It's just any money past that certain threshold is kind of irrelevant. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. He bought, Twitter. He does things with it. But yeah, he cares more about success of humanity. He's told us what his lifelong goal is: interplanetary populations. He wants people on Mars. He wants to do that. He wants to make life multi-planetary. And all of his companies are all about doing that. You look at Boring Company, subterranean habitats. You look at Neuralink, control of robotics and other things external to yourself. You look at his robots, again, robotics, doing manual labor in places where it's very difficult for humans to survive. SpaceX, getting people off the ground, getting equipment off the ground. Guys, all of these, Tesla, the motors from Tesla actually are used in SpaceX rockets, the electric cars, all of this stuff. All of this technology is all about making life multi-planetary. That is like Elon's mission statement. And we don't get there if the United States collapses because of corruption. That's his driving force, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. We can talk about it. And if Elon wants to chime in, he is on X. He is on YouTube. He goes around. If you want to comment on it, Elon, feel free. I would love for you to comment. I would love to talk to you.
I mean, listen, like if I steal some Social Security, I can finally buy nice things.
Yeah. And on that same question, they're also talking about you guys are going to end Social Security, you're going to end Medicare, you're going to end these things. I don't imagine that conversation has been had with the president, and that's the plan.
No, in fact, the actions that we're taking with the support of the president and the support of the agencies is what will save Medicare, what will save Social Security.
Yeah, guys, you got to get rid of all the fraud and abuse. You have to. If you don't, the system collapses.
And because if the country goes insolvent, if all the money is just spent on paying interest on debt, there's no money left for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I'm doing this, is because I was looking at the big picture here, and it's like, man, our debt's getting out of control. The interest payments, the interest on the national debt now exceeds the entire Defense Department budget.
$1 trillion a year in
Yes.
interest. Just to carry the money that we owe is $1 trillion a year.
Which is insane.
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
And rising rapidly. So like, a country's no different from a person. Country overspends, country goes bankrupt, same as a person who overspends goes bankrupt. So it's not like optional to solve these things. It's essential. So
We're going to go bankrupt.
yes,
We are.
Yeah.
Couple minutes left here. Russia. There's a huge push from this administration.
yeah. People like sometimes like
to end this war.
say like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a bought asset of Putin.
Yeah.
I'm like, he can't afford me.
Yeah. I think you're worth more than Russia.
Think about it.
So, you're trying to end a war. Ending a war always means you have to compromise, you have to negotiate with an enemy or an adversary. That's just what it is. And right now, they are lambasting the president for trying a different method to a war that they haven't been able to end for 3.5 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
They're saying Trump's blaming Zelensky for the invasion. How do you process all of the negativity toward him for trying to end this war?
Well, first of all, I think we should have empathy for the people dying at the front lines. That's the most important thing. And people have been dying, you know, it's like, how many more years is this supposed to go on?
Yeah.
And imagine if that was your son, your father, what are they dying for?
Yeah.
What exactly are they dying for? That line the line of engagement has barely moved for 2 years.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people dead in trenches for what? And I'll tell you what for what.
I mean, it's a really good point. For what?
It's like for the biggest graft machine that I've ever seen in my life. That's for what? It's unreal. Like the amount of money that is being taken in graft and bribery is disgusting. And so what's actually happening is that those poor guys are getting sent into a meat grinder for money. That's what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a grim way to look at it. But I mean, is there a different way to look at it? That sounds correct.
And it needs to stop.
And it seems, Trump is so pragmatic on this. He's just looking at it and he's saying it's Ukraine, it's not our country, it's not a NATO ally. I just want to see people not dying. I want to see on both sides. Think about how so many young men have died in Ukraine that the army is starting to age out. The military is aging out. You got 40 and 50-year-old guys fighting in a war because there's nobody left that's not killed or maimed in their 20s.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. Think about how many people that is. If you're a humanitarian at all, you just got to end the war. No matter what. Just get it over with.
Yes, they need to stop dying. And the grift machine's got to stop. You know? So, and I think a lot of people out there don't realize, like, the president has a lot of empathy. He really cares.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good man. So,
I got one more for you. I've been fascinated by you for a very long time.
Thanks.
I've never seen anybody that
Pause.
can, do so many things at the same time. You've got the rockets, you got the cars. I've always wanted to ask you, what is it like inside your mind? Like, is it just 1,000 miles an hour? Are you?
Yeah.
Is it just not? Does it ever stop? Do you sleep? How much do you sleep? What's? Paint us a picture of inside of the mind of
I don't think you want that.
a genius. Like, how do you do all this? Can you answer that question? It's not an easy question. Yeah.
My mind is a storm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a storm. But let me maybe tell you something. Like, you didn't ask the question, but I think it's worth kind of nonetheless maybe just elaborating on something, which is, I grew up in South Africa, but my morality was informed by America. I read comic books, played Dungeons and Dragons, and I watched American TV shows, and it seemed like America cared about being the good guys,
Yeah, we used to.
about doing the right thing, and that's actually pretty unusual, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like
In the world, it's very unusual.
Yeah, it's not like actually.
Most countries don't do that.
No, they don't.
No.
And so I was like, yeah, you know, you want to be this good, you want to be on the side of good, you want to care about what's right, yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what I believe in, you know. So
I gave you a tough one at the end.
yeah. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. Elon Musk.
All right,
you're the
thank
man.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That was a very good non-answer, guys, but I think his answer is it's a storm, which makes a lot of sense, guys. He does so many things in so many different realms and areas that his brain is probably just chaos. And he snatches ideas and thoughts and just acts on them, but for the most part, it just doesn't stop. I bet it's very difficult for him to sleep.
All right. Hey, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
That is quite the shot right there, folks. I might actually use that for the thumbnail. What do you guys think? I think this was a really interesting speech. I think it really discussed a lot about the things that people are curious about when it comes to DOGE, the things going on in our government, the corruption, and all of the nonsense that's been going on right under our noses that we all suspected, but the media always told us was wrong. So what do you guys think? We should have a discussion about it. Head on over to the Discord, head on over to X. Let's talk about it. I would love to get your opinion. Thank you to those of you that made it to the end of this video. I greatly appreciate your support. If you're looking to support the channel, you can go over to coffeebrandcoffee.com, peruse the selection of coffees, teas, and cocos. When you go to purchase and check out, make sure you use the promotion code for this channel. That will ensure a little bit of your purchase comes back to the channel to help us grow, to help me provide you guys with additional content. If you're looking for a free way to support the channel, please make sure you like the video, share the video with friends and family, leave a comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. All of these help with the algorithm. Every time you help with the algorithm, more people get to see this video. And the more people that see this video helps out the channel, again, bring you more content in the future. If you head on over to the Discord, we can have conversations about any of the topics from today's speech or the many other videos that we have on the channel. We can also have discussions about anything else that you would like in open discussion. I have no problem with that. You can also head on over to X and follow me at PatriotDad_USA. I look forward to interacting with you directly there. I have a live weekly update show Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as well as a space with the Questionable Gardener and others Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Both of those shows go for an hour or two, sometimes longer, depending on what we have to talk about. And both of those shows allow you to submit questions and interact directly with me and others. So I look forward to seeing you there. If you have a recommendation for a topic or a video you'd like to see on the channel in the future, please send it to the email address displayed here on the screen or leave it in a comment below. I look forward to reacting to those for you. Just have some patience, as it may take me some time to get to them. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves, and God bless. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.